Hello everybody, my name is Jenna and today I am bringing you my Septober book haul. Septober, I hear you say. Jenna, that's not a real month. Well, what I have done is I have combined September and October to make Septober. Basically, I only bought 2 books in September and the rest of them I have either bought or received in October. Really bought, I'm not really sure why I say receive. I mean, I did receive some of them in the mail, but let's be honest, I don't get sent ARCs or anything from publishers, so anything that you see in this video, I have purchased myself. Since I'm not planning on buying any more books this month, I figure why not just combine them both and put them into the one book haul, hence the word Septober that I came up with that really isn't that clever and is actually pretty lame, but what are you gonna do? So the first book I have to talk about is Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas. This book came out in September something, I don't know. All I know is that this book was everywhere when it came out. I mean, it was all over Twitter, all over YouTube, everybody's doing a book talk, and I will not be one of those people because I am still up to Heir of Fire. Basically, I read the first 2 books in the series, absolutely loved them, started reading Heir of Fire and found that I couldn't for whatever reason, so I stopped and I really haven't picked up the rest of the series since then, so I'm a little bit behind, obviously, because I'm definitely not ready to read this book. I tell you a little bit what it's about, but considering this is the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series and I don't actually know what it's about, I'm gonna say I would either completely spoil it for people or I would just be completely wrong, and we really don't want that. The next 2 books I got one of them in September and I got one of them in October. However, they are part of the same series, so I figure I would just show them together. And that is Hollow City by Ransom Riggs and Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs. These are the 2nd and the 3rd book in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series, and I am super excited to pick these ones up. So again, because this is the 2nd and the 3rd book, I'm not going to go too much into what it's about because of spoilers, but basically I read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children and I absolutely adored it. I thought it was a fantastic book. I cannot wait to see the movie. I actually think I'm seeing the movie on Tuesday, which is super exciting. I should message my friend about that. So Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children follows Jake, who after a traumatic family accident, he and his father travel to Wales, where he is looking for the orphanage in which his grandfather grew up. When he finds this orphanage, he actually finds Miss Peregrine and all of the children still living there, and then it sort of goes on to talk about this time loop that they're in and talk about this war, and it was a really good read, and the creepy photographs were so creepy. So I'm really hoping that these books are just as great and that they also contain really creepy photographs because they were actually, while creepy, a lot of fun. So the next book I got, which is one that I got in October, was The Fever Code by James Dashner. This book is the prequel book to the Maze Runner trilogy, but I believe it is the sequel to The Kill Order, which was also a prequel to the Maze Runner trilogy. Unlike The Kill Order, which I really didn't like very much, I have high hopes for The Fever Code because this book actually follows Thomas, who we all know as the protagonist from the Maze Runner trilogy. Basically, this book shows us how the maze was created and how Thomas fits into all of it, and so I am super excited to read it. I really want to know how the maze was sort of all came together because I wasn't super satisfied with the ending of The Death Cure, which is the last book in the Maze Runner trilogy. I felt that it left a lot of questions unanswered, so I'm super excited to see if this book is going to answer any of them. I also picked up The Call by Pilar Ogulen. If you watch my September wrap up and my October TBR, you would know that I really don't know much about this book at all. All I know is that it is set in Ireland sometime in the future, I believe, maybe, not really sure. Definitely set in Ireland, but this is an Ireland that has been cut off from the rest of the world, so no one can come in and no one can go out. Basically, there is a place in Ireland called the Grey Area, or the Grey Land, or something. I'm not really sure. And basically what can happen is that any teenager at any time will get the call, and when they do, they only have 3 minutes to live. So when they get sent to the Grey Area, they need to battle to survive. Not many people do. I think it says here there's a 1 in 10 chance of returning alive, so obviously most kids don't make it, which is kind of super upsetting and really dark. But I'm super excited to read this one. I'm hoping to read it in October, obviously, because Halloween, and it seems like a super creepy read. Also, I didn't notice until after I'd filmed my wrap up and my TBR that this cover has little skulls on it. Look at that. That's terrifying. It's literally an entire cover of just human skulls. Like, if that isn't creepy and morbid, then I don't really know what is. And the last 3 books I have to show you is the Adair Trilogy by Michelle Hodkin. So I now have the Unbecoming of Adair, the Evolution of Adair, and the Retribution of Adair. I basically know absolutely nothing about this trilogy. The reason I bought these books is because I'm currently participating in a Adair readathon, or at least I will be now that I finally have these books. Unfortunately, I don't really know a lot about the series. All I know is that there's a girl called Adair, and there was an accident where all of her friends mysteriously ended up dead, but she didn't, and so it's sort of coming to terms with with what happened, finding out what happened that night, and just sort of trying to figure out who is Adair and what is her story. They definitely sound like really great novels. I know a lot of people really enjoy them. They're really highly spoken of here on BookTube, so I figured I would give them a go. So those are the 8 books that I picked up at the end of September and the beginning of October. Unfortunately, I have not read a single one, but I am definitely hoping to get started on them soon, especially the Adair books, because obviously Halloween is right around the corner and they seem like super spooky reads, and also because of the readathon I'm participating in. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what books you picked up in September/October, aka Septober. That's totally gonna catch on, right? Yeah? No? Okay. Let me know if you have read any of the books that I have picked up and tell me if you enjoyed them. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye!